Okay, so let's find out what it's like being a member of Transformation HQ. So what are your names and what HQ are you from?
I'm Kellyanne and I'm from High Lane THQ.
My name's Max and I'm from High Lane THQ as well.
Yeah. So you're a couple, so how long have you been a member?
We both joined in September 2021, so last year. I managed to convince you.
You're about a week before me, but yeah.
A week before, and
Yeah.
then you got on the 6-week meltdown programme with me.
Eventually.
What results have you achieved in your time?
So when I joined, I was out of shape. I was about 96 kilos, struggling to fit in the clothes that I sort of had for a couple of years before that, mainly due to lockdown. Like everyone, put a bit of weight on, probably quite a common problem, just hadn't lost it. And then joining THQ really gave me the edge to lose that weight, get the training plan, get the diet sorted, and get down to the body shape I wanted to be.
Yeah, brilliant.
So,
yeah. Carry on.
I lost, I think since I started, I've lost about 2 stone and dropped around 2 dress sizes.
Wow.
And just feel happier and more comfortable the way I am now than when I started.
So before you achieved these results, what was your main struggles with your health and fitness before you became a member?
I think not knowing what you're eating and the impact it has on your body, and also not having a training regime you can actually stick to. And also, of course, you probably end up drinking too much as well, and then you're eating too much and drinking, it's a common spiral. But yeah, the THQ sort of really gave us a focus to
Yeah.
Mine was just
Brilliant.
consistency, just wasn't consistent enough. We'd moved to the area, wanted to find something that we could both engage in, and yeah, we managed to, I think someone recommended THQ and we haven't looked back really.
No.
So what were your worries before starting? So before you come through the doors and you think, are you going to be able to do it? Is it going to be like? What was going through your head?
For me, first of all, it was, it's a small gym. I was thinking there might be kind of meatheads, lots of testosterone, lots of egos. I was more worried about it being like a muscle gym, but yeah, it wasn't like that at all.
That's funny. Yeah, I didn't realise you felt like that, because
really?
I thought it was more going to be, as you can do, a little bit maybe pretentious and a closed little circle of people in there. But then as soon as you get in there, you meet Will and THQ. Ruined that for you there.
No, it's fine. Honestly, it is fine.
You meet Will at Transformation HQ High Lane, and it's complete opposite. It's a friendly little group of. It's a great place to be.
Yeah, it's a social. I mean, for me, it's like it fits around my work. There's classes all times of the day. You're in and out in 45 minutes. Get it done. You feel like you've had a workout, and yeah, it just fits our busy lifestyle really.
So how's your life changed since joining?
Ladies first.
I feel like it's now just training is part of my life. Like it's just become part of what I do. It's not something that I look forward to it. I never used to look forward to exercise. And I think the nutrition along with the training is such a powerful tool in helping you, achieve the results you want. They go hand in hand, and the food. When you're on the 12-week program especially, you see the results really quickly.
My answer's a bit short. It's just mentally better and physically better.
Yeah.
To feel a lot more happy in myself.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and that's very powerful in itself, isn't it? So how did you find the 6-week program? So let's talk about the actual program. So the 6-week program, the introductional program to the gym, how did you find that?
I think I started the training, but I don't think I really followed the food that well. It was a good introduction.
So you made progress without actually even necessarily following it to the letter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was a start, and it sort of got us into good habits, but I don't think either of us were fully invested.
I think the 6-week one more is about getting, if you haven't been doing a gym routine for a while, it's getting you back into the routine of actually going to the gym a few times a week and getting that diet sorted again. So it's like a sort of a really good introduction to the 12-week shoot.
Yeah,
I don't think you could go straight into the 12 weeks, especially for someone like we hadn't really worked out, during lockdown it was difficult. So I hadn't been training properly like that for a long time.
No, I've never trained like that consistently.
So that's a really good topic, because the reason that we don't let people do the 12 weeks straight away is because you've got to have an instructional into what it's going to be like to eat a certain
100%.
way and train a
It
certain
would be
way.
too
Yeah,
intense.
exactly, yeah.
Like straight into that would be a lot.
Yeah, your dropout rate would be, and
High,
people, they just wouldn't complete the course, would they?
Yeah. And even if they achieve the results, then I believe that they wouldn't be armed to then maintain them afterwards. I believe you've got to build the habits before you'd be a little bit more of a
Yeah,
stricter
it'd be
program.
too much of a, it would be too much of a, almost a bounce back from it. Because it could be a quick weight loss without actually, like you say, reinforcing the good behaviour.
Yeah, which I do think that's what the 6 week is good for, isn't it? You see a little bit of results and you kind of
Dip your toe in, test the
toe
water.
in and see if that's for you, which you know we're really invested, and you know that's it worked for us.
Of course. How did you find like the 12-week shoot program? So we've established some good habits to move forward. You've moved into the 12-week shoot program, which people see all results. They see results online, and this is what we put out. But it's a longer journey than 12 weeks to get to this point. But let's talk specifically. How did you find the 12-week shoot program?
So we both, I think I convinced you. You weren't on board 100% to start with. You didn't want to shoot. You didn't want your picture on the wall.
This is true.
But I just convinced you to do it. It's like, we want to do this together. January was a great time to start. We'd had, a kind of boozy, eating a lot of junk food over Christmas. And we were both, once we committed, we were like fully on board.
Yeah.
So for me, like how it went, first 6 weeks, you're counting calories. You do get in a really good routine, I think, and then every sort of 4 weeks when the calories drop, it was just a bit of a little bit of a shock to the system.
Yeah, it's easy at the start, isn't it?
Yeah.
The diet is easy to get on board with, whatever your calories are set at, and the training, you can keep doing your normal training, and it's just, this is a breeze. And just when you get comfortable, boom, you get a calorie drop.
Yeah.
And go to the gym one more time a week, and then you get another calorie drop, and before you know it, you're in deep. But then you, like you said, you see the results, and when you see the results, you get the motivation, and you just keep pushing yourself.
I think just for me, it gave us some really good habits, like, even now, like from starting doing that trying food prep on a Monday, so know what we're eating in the week.
Yeah, to be fair, I've got to thank you for that,
Well,
because you did all the food prep.
I do all the food prep.
I would totally wouldn't be able to complete the 12-week shoot without this one doing it.
So how did you find it doing it together then? Was it then easier then? That's what you've just said then, is it?
100%, yeah. So, we obviously you're on slightly more calories, but we was eating very much the same food. You might just have an extra snack or something.
Oh, I know I was on more calories. You were bitter about it every day. Having 200 calories left at the end of the day for a shake,
like,
and you'd
I'm
be
going to
like,
have an extra scoop of peanut butter
Oh,
in my
yeah.
shake, and I'm like fuming. But no, I just think it does. We did end up eating quite a lot of the same food, because you know what you're eating, you know your macros, and it just makes it easier. But even when we're not on the shoot, we end up still doing that. So it puts you in really good habits, and then cutting out the dairy, like we stick with that, we both have oat milk and stuff.
yeah, to a degree.
I think you've summarised it very well. So at the start, it's reasonably easy. You've got a high calorie target. You're just getting into the motions. But then once you sort of get into the deeper stages of it, it gets harder. You drop your calories, you increase your training. However, the inspiration of you actually seeing this is actually working spurs you on to get better and better.
So-
And then when you achieve the results after it, you've actually armed with so many good habits that you just keep in
And even
your
if you
daily
don't
life
take
anyway.
everything with you, you've instilled quite deeply some really good things, because
Yeah.
obviously you have to do it sort of constantly during the shoot, even the weekends. So now we kind of relax a bit the weekends, but we will stick with it.
Yeah, it's easier to stick
Pretty
to it
much
during
in
the
the
week.
week.
But I think
Yeah.
that's after doing the shoot the second time. After the first time, 'cause it's such a more of a weight loss shoot than anything.
Yeah.
And there's big goals, you're just losing a lot of weight, and then afterwards you just take a breath and you start eating again. But then the second
Everything
shoot,
in sight.
yeah. And then the second one's been more like, well, I didn't have as much to lose, so I didn't lose as much weight during the 12 weeks, and then it's almost easier to maintain that afterwards.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's definitely
I think
sort of
doing
been-
it for the second time. I might, going forward, I don't necessarily think I'd want to do 2 a year, but
Yeah, you will.
Well,
You say that, you'll be on the January shoot.
so I think what I've got from that there is the shoot process that you mentioned. I think it's like rolling a big stone up the hill. That's hard, but when you get to the top of the hill, it's easy to hold the stone there. And I think that's once you've achieved these type of results, it's easier to maintain and have it as part of your life, really. Yeah, I think that's there.
Plus, I mean, to be fair, like, I'm 43 and I did not think I was ever going to see those kind of results. Having 2 kids, you know, working a busy job, not having much time. So I'm just so pleased with what, after doing 2 shoots, what I've managed to achieve.
Yeah, and it takes people from someone that just exercises and goes to the gym to someone who trains and eats well, and that's what you have to do part of your day-to-day life. And it's
and it's understanding the nutrition and, you know, sort of getting your head around how much protein you need to eat, how many carbs, fat, and
You sort of get a gist of it, don't you? You don't always see it. You track it on an app or whatever, but towards the end, you just know what you're eating.
Yeah.
And the last couple of weeks, I sort of do check it every now and then, but you've already got that benchmark already in your head, haven't you?
yeah, you know what calories you're on. Yeah.
Brilliant. So let's talk about the sessions. So what is it like going into a HQ session?
For a start, it's if you've been to the gym on your own and you've worked out with a mate, it's completely different to that because you target different areas of the body perhaps, and you just go at your own pace. Whereas you go into a transformation session and you got to go at the pace of the class, which pushes you a little bit, but also you're working every part of your body as well, every single time. I was dubious whether that would work because you always told you got to work different sections, but it seems to work. So the proof's in the pudding there.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're friendly, they go quick, and you feel great afterwards.
Yeah, that's the thing for me. It's like that 45 minutes goes really quickly.
Mostly, except with the accumulator.
Except with the accumulator,
which it just drags.
Yeah. But for me as well, like everyone's so friendly, especially when you're on a shoot. You know other people are in the same boat as you, so you end up, you know, championing people, pushing them, helping them. Like if someone's picking up, you know, 15 kilogram weights for chest press, we're like, yeah, well done. It's just, I feel like it's such a supportive place to work out.
Yeah.
And I love that. I'm not a gym person. I've never been a gym person, but I love the sessions because there's a bit of a social element. I like. You know, not too much chatting.
It's the 9:15 Mums Club. That's what it is.
I think that was the session I covered actually.
But yeah, no. And sometimes I do the 6 a.m. because that's all I can fit it in. But it's great having that flexibility to be able to train in the morning, train sometimes in the afternoon, evening, whenever really.
Yeah. And you feel the session's always still 45 minutes, but you feel like the sessions that you started in the 6-week meltdowns compared to what you get out of the sessions now, do you feel like is it even better now because you can go stronger? You are stronger.
Yeah, the weights you're lifting, and you can see when you've got all the information in your little book, you know, sometimes flip back to the beginning, look at what we were on. Yeah, it's great to see the progress.
Yeah. Brilliant. So has anything cool happened to you since you've been a HQ member and your new body shapes?
Well, I ended up with a 6-pack, which I never thought I'd have in my life at the age of 40 years old. I've written it off years ago that I'm too old for that now.
Yeah.
And there you are.
Felix, our little boys, and he's like, Daddy, can you get a 6-pack? And you're like,
yeah, of course.
Son, I've made the 6-pack. You've done it for him, haven't you?
I made my little boy proud.
No bigger goal than that.
Yeah, I think just in general, like seeing results and sticking with it. Like my problem's always been very up and down. Like I lose weight, put weight on, lose weight, put weight on, and it's you know, it's very much steady. Even though you go up and down a few pounds, it's a lot steadier than being consistent.
Brilliant. So let's talk about nutrition. So how do you find the food day to day? So we can talk about the how you found it on the 6-week program, or how you found it on the shoot, or how you found it just your general knowledge of food.
I think I've always eaten. I mean, we've always eaten pretty healthy. We eat healthy in the week, but for me, it's like the weekends. Come Friday, always wanted a glass of wine, which turned into a bottle of wine, which turns into then a takeaway, which turns into then hangover food at the weekend. So I think now it's not an automatic Friday night bottle of wine takeaway. Yeah, it is sometimes as a treat, but it's just after doing the 12-week shoot program, just sort of these really good habits are instilled. So we do have treats, but it's just not as regular, not as like, instead of it being, you know, a couple of days a week that you eat what you want it's like maybe 1 or 2 meals rather than full days of just.
Yeah. So Max, when you said like you thought you'd never get a 6-pack, was that maybe coming from your fact that you thought you eat healthily, like you do eat healthily, you're generally healthy, but it's just something that's never going to come because there's something missing there? Then
yeah, I just didn't have the actual knowledge of. I just thought it was unachievable. I thought, really difficult to get, and this, that, and the other, and
because you eat healthy anyway. It's not because you.
Yeah, exactly. Because I eat reasonably healthy, and I'd work out, but never really sort of the full body. Yeah, put two together, make yourself accountable with your diet. That's massively important, and the consistency of training that many times a week. But be it only 45 minutes, it's dead manageable. I never thought I'd have the consistency of the diet or the actual willpower or the actual the drive to go ahead and do that. But here we are.
Do you feel your overall knowledge now of what it takes to achieve results is improved?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I feel after doing the shoot, you're given the tools to know what to do with, to how to get these results. And, we're not going to do it constantly because I don't think you can live like that. You can't live in a place where you're only consuming like 1,200 calories a day forever, but you do it for a while to achieve an end goal, to then be able to kind of live a life where you can go out for a nice meal, enjoy a glass of wine. So you sort of take it to the extreme to then be able to
roll it back a little bit into that lovely moderation zone.
Moderation is key.
Yeah. And like what you all do at some point throughout the year, we'll all put a little bit of weight on. That's just human nature. But the main thing is that you understand. Now it's not, you're not blind to, I don't know what to do. You know exactly what you need to do. You can highlight where you've gone wrong, and you just fix that. You shoot.
And also pull it back in before it gets too far. I think
I agree.
Before the shoots, I'd be like, I've messed up this week now, I'll just carry on messing up for the rest of the week, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's knowing that if you do mess up, you can just get it back quite quickly without having to, you don't
just... Drop your calories.
You fall off the wagon, you get back on straight away.
You don't eat the wagon. Okay. You might fall off the wagon, just don't eat the wagon.
So what would you say to anybody thinking about joining HQ?
I wouldn't hesitate in recommending it. It's really changed our lives for the better. We're in a consistent training program. We're well aware of the nutrition now, and it's a great place to train, great place to meet people. It's I would highly recommend anyone thinking about joining.
I'd say you've got to go in with an open mind. If you've got any preconceived ideas about the gym, about the attitudes in there, forget it, because it's not that at all. I'd say you've got to listen to the trainers. They do know what they're talking about, and if like we've discussed before, if you do fall off that wagon, you've got to get back on it again and just write a bad day off, because they will happen. And consistency is absolutely key. If you can just keep going and trust the process. Trust the process 100%, and it will work for you.
Perfect. So if anyone wants to find out about our 6-week meltdown program, just click the link on this video and we'll drop you a message.